listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
Feed me more! Feed me more!
So I'm guessing you're Daryl?
Goldberg.
Oh.
Get it? Chance Feed Me More, they check Goldberg.
They do.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a comedian.
Yeah, that doesn't fly very well. But today is Promotion Builder because that is Monday. So today we are talking about 4 promotions, wrestling rings.
Wedding rings.
Wrestling rings.
Wrestle rings.
Yes. So, I know we've talked about sanitation a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
We talked about sanitation of the ring and the back and all that kind of stuff. But what about wrestling rings do you think we need to discuss today?
All right. We've been to several independent shows. We're trying to get out to as many as we can. And there seems to be a common theme with a lot of them. Now, we understand not every promotion owns their own wrestling ring. They rent wrestling rings a lot of time. But in doing that, there's still ways you can still spruce up the ring. And
right.
Maybe if you spruce it up, the person renting it to you might give you a little bit of a discount. Don't know. That's between you and them. But let's talk specifically at this second about the ropes. What we could do to make the ropes look better. Because a lot of times I see a lot of... we all know the ropes are taped.
Right.
Okay. But you see a lot of tape just hanging down. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional.
Yeah, and the middle of the ropes. The middle of the ropes are going to be worn out if they're colored. They're going to be worn down to, if they were red, let's say, they're going to be worn down to like a light red or a pink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of running against them and the sweat and all that kind of stuff. That's something that you need to think about, and on video, on pictures, that's what's, most of your publicity is your pictures and your video going up online. So you want to make sure that along with your wrestlers looking nice and neat, unless that's their gimmick to look dirty, but you need to have your ring looking nice and clean.
Yeah, there's so many different colors of duct tape right now.
Yeah.
Duct tape is cheap. Okay.
Iffy.
Well, a couple bucks. I mean.
Yeah, I think a full-size roll, the good rolls are like $4 a piece, and it usually takes, when I ran the color on my ropes, I think it took 1 per half rope, so you needed 6 rolls to do a full set of ropes.
Which, that's worth the investment.
Yeah, definitely. What is that, like $40, $50, you know, to make your ropes look nice and clean. You know what I mean? You do that, you do a $50, $60 investment, once every 6 months,
so,
you know what I mean?
Months, yeah.
Twice a year, your ring is going to be looking sharp. Obviously, you're going to need to do stuff beyond the ropes. Like, what do you think beyond the ropes?
Let's talk about the apron.
Right. The apron is
or
key
the
because
ring skirt, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing that people see. Other than your mat or your canvas, the apron is what all the fans on the outside see. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk about it in a few weeks, but that's a good place to put sponsors because that's where everyone is looking. That's where all the pictures are being taken. We'll talk about sponsors later, but keeping that apron clean and making it look nice and appealing for people to watch, to look at, then, what else do you think about the apron?
Absolutely. One, you don't want it to look ratty. You don't want it to look torn and tethered and all that stuff. Now, granted, if it's a ring you're renting, okay, maybe you could talk to them about it. Or
usually you're renting it from somebody you really know. Most of the time you're not renting a random ring. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a monthly or a bi-weekly show. And there's
ways to make your own apron. If if you want to get creative with like your colors,
Right.
whatever your theme is, and if you want to put like your logo on it, something like that.
Right.
But make sure you have it nice, neat, clean on all four sides,
Yeah.
and tight. You don't want it like all loose and baggy where people get tripped up in it. Where if they go flying out or doing like a baseball slide where it scoops up and they end up sliding down in it,
Right.
unless that's the move you're going for, which I've seen a couple
Right.
of times.
And if you're renting your ring or whatever, and the apron looks nice, but it's just a flat black or flat color apron, you can always purchase like a banner that you can attach to it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll
and which you can.
make
I
it
see deals
fun.
all the time online for banners for really, really cheap.
Yeah, you can get a vinyl banner for like $20, and it's a good size banner. So just look at that option. What else, other things? We've talked about the ropes. We talked about the ring
Ring post.
That's another huge one that when you're looking across the ring, you're always looking through the ropes, and you're always seeing a ring post.
Absolutely.
And people get thrown into the ring posts. They get moved around. They're heavy, so people toss them, and they're not taken with delicate care.
Yeah, no, 'cause they're heavy,
Yes.
heavy. So
So
they're not like
they're
this
always
light stuff.
they're always getting scuffed up. They're gonna start looking dingy every couple months. So that's something you need to paint your ring. Ring posts. So
Well, and you don't have to do it every week or every
Right.
month. Every 6 months or so, just give it a little bit of a touch up.
yeah,
Unless you've had like a big gash, like a chair shot, somebody
Right.
dug, so you hit it, and it gashes it. Touch it up a little bit. Most ring posts that I've seen, for the most, I'm gonna say a good 90% of them are black.
right.
All right, go get you some black paint. If the posts are a glossy look, get you the glossy paint. If they're a flat look, get you flat.
Well, you could buy a 1-gallon bucket. You could even buy it at the discount, den and whatever they call that.
Yeah.
The
have no idea.
dent and return shelf,
Oh yeah, where they like screwed up the
the color
paint
or whatever,
something.
as long as it's the color you're looking for, why not? You get
Yeah.
a 1-gallon bucket of paint for $2 or $3. You'd have a full gallon would last you the whole year to
Absolutely.
touch up the post. So let's talk about the mat.
Absolutely.
Your mat gets used more than anything, more than your ropes. It is getting run across and landed on all the time, so it's gonna be deteriorating the fastest.
Well, we talked about in sanitation, keeping it clean, especially if you bleed on the mat. You want to take it and really pressure wash it, like within the next couple of days of having
Right.
blood on it, stuff like that. But you always want to sweep it out, like before the shows, after the shows, before you wrap it up, stuff like that. And we know those canvases are not cheap. All right,
Right.
so we're not saying replace it every few months or something like that, or whatever. But at least try and take care of it. Patch it up if you have to patch it up.
Right.
Just
And don't try to patch it up yourself. Make sure you get a seamstress
Yeah.
or someone that actually knows how to sew really well to be able to patch it up, because they're gonna know how to patch it up that it's gonna last a while.
absolutely. Anything else on that one, or
No, not necessarily on the mat.
all right, what about the turnbuckles?
Yeah, turnbuckles. I've seen a lot of different ways people do it. I prefer the cloth turnbuckle that's really just like a square pillow that's tied around the back. Some people tape all the way up there from the ropes up to their turnbuckle pads. I'm not crazy about TNA's, 10, I don't know what size Impact uses for their turnbuckle pads, but it's like standing on
I think
a
they use
platform up
the
there.
comfort system pillow.
Yeah.
So
That thing, it's just massive. But always just remember to keep that clean for one. But two, keep it looking fresh. And
Yeah.
if you can get your logo or something put on it.
absolutely.
So-
Well, and the thing is with the turnbuckle pads is it's real simple. You can retape them if they tape them. All right. If you want like your logo stuff, you're written a ring. It's easy to make something to just wrap around the turnbuckle pad. Okay,
Yeah.
it's very simple to do that. If you can't do it personally, pretty sure somebody in your organization knows somebody who can
Right.
throw something together. So,
Yeah.
I mean...
The only other thing I when I think of the wrestling ring, I think of the stairs going into the ring. Usually there's just one set of stairs that goes up to the side. You know, they have the expensive corner stairs.
Yeah, I don't see too many independent shows getting
Most
that.
independent shows aren't going to do that just because they are quite pricey. But you can get the wooden stairs. I would suggest painting them so they don't look like a wooden set of stairs.
Yeah.
But that's all preference. I mean, that's up to you. I don't really see a problem with them just being wood stairs, but
No, I don't either. But speaking of wood, depending on what kind of wood, you always want to check the wood.
Didn't know where Daryl was going with that.
You never know where I'm going. But
Especially with wood.
you need to check the wood up underneath.
Right.
Try and have some extras. And just look at it, because we know some places use the 2-inch 2x4s or something.
Well, they'll usually use like 2x6s or 2x8s.
Yeah.
You know, some places which are full planks going across, and then some places use the plywood. So, you know, just remember to have, if you're using the planks, make sure you have 2 or 3 standing by just in case. You know, if you have the plywood, make sure you have at least 1 or 2 sheets available as spares.
Yeah.
You know, and always, if you are the ring crew, if you are the ring owner, you need to make sure that you always have your saws and hammers and all your materials to maintain that. But I'm guessing if you own a ring, that you pretty much know to have that. And if you're a wrestler, we're going to talk about some other things that you can do with the ring tomorrow.
Yeah.
The only other thing I kind of want to touch on before we end this segment with the rings is ring color. You know, try not to make it look like it's a clown museum. You know what I mean? If you own the ring, or if you're renting the ring, you know, try to make sure that they're your colors. You know what I mean? And try to make sure that the whole ring is uniform. Because the ring is the focus of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just, if you can, make sure that the ring is matching your colors, and you're not getting a green apron and a blue ring post with red. You know, I don't know. It just, a whole menagerie of colors is not the way to go.
Well, now Ian's colors that he had on his ring was all pink.
Well,
So-
I mean, I went with the rainbow effect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the way you're going with it, if you want to do the whole rainbow effect, that's great. I mean, that I haven't.
There's purple over here, pink over there.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
that's
insane.
up to you. But I mean,
Flowers in the middle.
that's all personal preference. So, but that's pretty much it for Promotion Builder with the ring aspect. Do you have anything else you wanted to add to?
No. Check your winches. Make sure they're still working,
Right.
and they're not to a stress point where they're going to snap during a match or anything like that.
Right.
And the padding that goes underneath the canvas, check that and make sure, and check for loose nails when
Right.
you're putting stuff together, because you don't want anybody to get hurt,
Right.
and end up not being able to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
So and that's pretty much it. If there's anything y'all can think of, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we may have missed something, or y'all may have a difference of opinion than what we have. So
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their preference on how the ring should be attended, but these are our things that we
Opinions.
just want to remind you to think about, because, as a promoter, your head isn't always towards the ring because you hire a ring crew to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just when you look out that curtain, make sure that it's the way you want it to look, because that's your brand, that's your identity out
yeah,
there.
'cause one thing that I would recommend doing is come in one time where the fans are, wherever they enter at, just kind of come in before the show starts and just kind of try and look at everything through the eyes of the fan. What are they going to see? Are they going to see this? How does this look? How does that look? And if you do it before the show, then there should be enough time for you to be able to fix and correct whatever problem there may be.
Right.
But I know a lot of people, they just don't think about that. They're there, they're trying to get the card booked, they're trying to get the matches going, trying to get people dressed, fans in the seats. And so they don't take that, 2 minutes to just, walk through and just kind of look at everything from a fan's perspective.
Yeah. And, if you have a wife or a son that come to the shows, have them do it as well, because they'll see it from a different perspective than you will.
Absolutely.
So, always take feedback with a positive outlook. So that's pretty much it for Promotion Builder today. So that's Wrestling Rings. Tomorrow is Gimmick Builder. So we're going to be talking about wrestling rings and how it can be incorporated into your wrestlers or you as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And things you can do to prepare and help for the ring. So
Absolutely.
So until tomorrow, see you then.